Hello, my name is Erica, and I will be recording today's speech. In the audience, we have with us today
Sean, Markel.
Sherry.
Tay. Shannon.
Hello, my name is Sheila, and today my speech is to inform you about the devastating effects that parental incarceration has on the children in the state of Oklahoma. In order for this to be more than just information, I'd like you to take a ride with me. Every month, a group of children will load onto a bus for a very important date. You can tell that this is an important date because they're dressed up and they just seem excited about whom they're going to meet. As the bus reaches its destination, and as you look through a fence, you can see some other excited people. There's a group of older women, and they're excited just as well. They're waving at the children on the bus, and the children on the bus are waving back. And then finally, the two meet in the final destination. They come together. You see, these children, this special meeting that they're having is taking place on a prison. These are children whose parents are incarcerated that they're going to go see. As I mentioned earlier, parental incarceration does have a devastating effect on the children. And today I'm going to show you three of those effects and three of those issues and how they affect the children. The number one issue is there are mental health issues. Having a parent incarcerated has extreme psychological effects on a child. According to Dr. Susan Sharp, who published an article in 2015, she goes into detail about the different types of trauma that children who have a parent incarcerated may experience. Dr. Sharp has several years of experience in writing these articles. You see, she was the first renowned professor in the state of Oklahoma to begin researching this issue and to really put the pen to the paper. In fact, her articles are used for many grant writers throughout the state who are seeking funding to help these children. And secondly, I'd like to tell you about a young quote from a young lady who tells me a quote from one of the children that were on that bus. The quote is that, "I am so afraid at night. I don't know why I'm afraid, but I have a fear. My heart's beating fast." And we know that this child is probably experiencing somewhat of an anxiety because there's a fear of unknown because of this separation from her parent. And secondly, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how their school behavior is affected with the absence of that parent in that home and their conduct. It has been shown it has been proven, as stated by the Oklahoma Commission on Youth, that children who have a parent incarcerated are more likely to experience bad grades in school and have misbehaviors at school. We know this because many children have not passed to the next grade level. That has been shown by that same report. And then thirdly, I'd like to talk to you about the economic issues that affect these children. These children, when a mom goes to prison, they're not required to state where that child is. And so children will end up in homes that you can't imagine. You would think that a lot of them would go to foster care system or some state system, but they do not. They may go to live with an elderly grandparent or an older sibling who can barely take care of themselves. As a result, these families are financially strapped in these homes. According to the Department of Human Services, that they cannot even account for the number of children in the prison system. But according to of children who has a parent in prison. But according to the Oklahoma Kids Count, funded by the Annie Casey Foundation, Oklahoma is showing they have 108 children who have an incarcerated parent just in Oklahoma. That means 12% of the children in Oklahoma have an incarcerated parent. As I summarize these issues up with you, as I summarize this important issue with you, let's get back on. Remember the children that went to the prison to visit their mom? Well, those same children have to come out of that prison and get back on that bus and go back to the communities which I just described to you. They have to go back and be afraid. They have to go back and worry about how well they're going to do in school. They got to go back and worry about their financial condition, if the rent's going to get paid, where they're going to live at. All of those things are some stress factors this child goes through. But I want to remind you that when I say the number 108,000, I want you to think about it. Because every child, every 108,000 of those children have names and they have faces. They're real. They're near you in your community. They're when you go to the store. They're with you when you go to church. They're with you when you're sitting at a football game cheering for your child. They're just with you. And so I want you to know this, that Oklahoma does incarcerate, according to the Department of Justice, Oklahoma does incarcerate more females than the world. That's a lot of children. Thank you.